The demands on our commercial interiors have completely changed. Businesses today need spaces that don't just look amazing, but are also super efficient to run. We're talking less downtime, less waste, and way less maintenance. And honestly, the traditional ways of finishing walls just aren't cutting it anymore. So today, we're going to dive into a technology that tackles these challenges head on. So here's the game plan. First, we'll break down the real limits of traditional wall coverings. Then, we'll introduce the modern alternative, printing directly on the wall. From there, we'll get into its very clear advantages, check out its performance edge, and finally, we'll make the case for why it's just a much smarter investment for any business that's thinking about the future. All right, so let's start by looking at the real-world headaches that come with using vinyl and wallpaper, especially in busy commercial spaces. Just think for a second about your high-traffic areas. Your lobbies, your hallways, your conference rooms. Are those walls actually boosting your brand? Or are they just a constant maintenance problem that kind of works against it? I bet these look familiar. We see it everywhere. Peeling edges, seams that don't quite line up, and just cheapen the whole look. And of course, the dreaded bubbling. On top of that, the designs can look dated pretty fast, they're a pain to clean, and they need constant upkeep, which just leads to this expensive cycle of ripping everything out and starting over. It's like this hidden tax you pay for using old methods. But what if we could just get rid of all those points of failure from the get-go? Well, that brings us to the modern alternative, a solution that's actually built from the wall out, not just stuck on top. The alternative is to print incredible high-resolution graphics right onto the wall itself. Think about that. No adhesives, no panels to line up, and, this is the big one for any business, no major disruption to your operations. This is a complete game changer in how we think about putting graphics in our spaces. So, what is this technology exactly? Well, it's a really specialized process that uses a mobile printer to apply graphics straight onto pretty much any surface: drywall, concrete, even brick. The ink gets cured instantly with UV light, creating this incredibly durable finish that literally becomes a part of the wall, not just something stuck on it. Okay, so now that we know what it is, let's break down the real, tangible benefits, both in how it looks and how it works, that make this such a better approach. This chart just lays it all out perfectly. Visually, direct-to-wall printing is completely seamless, no matter how big the wall is. No more ugly panel lines cutting through your design. Adhesion? Well, it's adhesive-free, so there's zero risk of bubbling or peeling. Installation time gets crushed from days down to a matter of hours. And when you're ready for a new look, you just paint right over it. No demolition, no landfill waste. It's a win on every single point. Let's dig a little deeper into performance. Because, let's be honest, in a commercial space, how something gets installed and how it holds up over time, that's everything. A professional process is what guarantees a predictable, great result. And this is where expertise really matters. It all starts with discovery and checking out the site, then moves to super careful pre-press and color proofing, and then a scheduled, low-disruption installation. This isn't just about printing. It's a fully managed project designed to be on time and have almost no impact on your day-to-day business. And the result of that streamlined process? Speed. We're talking about a full-size feature wall, often done in under 5 hours. That includes all the setup and takedown. Just imagine that. You can completely transform a space during off hours or even over a lunch break, and the room is ready to use immediately after. That's a massive win for any business. But hey, speed doesn't mean a thing if the graphic doesn't last, right? As this quote rightly points out, durability is absolutely non-negotiable for any commercial project. So, how does it hold up? Well, the UV-cured ink is incredibly resistant to scratches and bumps. It's easy to clean, and it's stable against sunlight, so it won't fade. And here's a huge one. With no seams or edges, there's nowhere for dirt and grime to get trapped. That's a massive plus for hygiene and maintenance. For the toughest spots, you can even add extra protective clear coats. Okay, so it looks better, and it performs better. But what about the bottom line? To really answer that, we have to look beyond the initial price tag and talk about the total cost of ownership. Anyone who manages a facility or a budget knows this distinction. First cost is just the sticker price. Total cost of ownership is the real number. It includes everything from installation and maintenance to repairs and what it costs to eventually remove it. And this is where direct-wall printing really shines as the smarter long-term investment. So where do these savings actually come from? Well, you save a ton on installation labor. You save on repairs because the main reasons things fail, seams and peeling edges, are completely gone. You get a much longer useful life, and when it is time for a change, you save big on demolition and disposal fees. It's a smarter financial model from day 1 all the way to year 10. And the savings aren't just financial. This approach is just fundamentally more sustainable. By getting rid of PVC materials, adhesives, and all those liners, you cut out a huge source of waste. Printing on site means less shipping. And by simply painting over old graphics instead of throwing them in a landfill, you dramatically reduce your environmental impact. It's a solution that really lines up with modern corporate responsibility goals. And this isn't some niche experimental thing. It's a proven solution that's being used by leaders across all kinds of industries. We're seeing it in corporate offices and hospitals, where being clean and causing minimal disruption is everything. We see it in universities and retail brands that need durable, scalable branding. In every single one of these cases, direct-to-wall printing is really setting a new standard. So, the big takeaway here is really about a shift in mindset. It's about moving away from thinking of these as temporary coverings and starting to see them as permanent, integrated architectural graphics that are just as durable and flexible as the building itself. Of course, the technology is only as good as the team that's running it. So when you're looking for a partner, you have to demand a few things: proven, high-res tech, expert color management to protect your brand, and a deep, deep knowledge of surface prep. You want to see a disciplined, clean installation process and the ability to get the job done right across multiple locations. That's what separates the real experts from everyone else. And that really just leaves one final question for you to think about. As you look around your own spaces, at the peeling vinyl, the mismatched seams, the constant upkeep, you really have to ask yourself, is your building story being held back by last decade's technology? Maybe it's time for an upgrade.